Welcome back, friends. Today, I'm answering a question that many women with osteopenia or osteoporosis often ask me. Can I add jumping to my workouts? And before I get into it, I wanted to invite you to my free live webinar, Level Up Your Workouts, How to Add in Plyometrics. The free webinar will be Tuesday night, February 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And to get on the waitlist for the specifics, head to my show notes for the waitlist link. Now, back to the question that I actually got from one of my waitlisted friends. Quote, I have osteopenia in my spine and neck. My hips are still good. I'm looking for plyo recommendations that take into account having osteopenia. What is okay to do or not to do to avoid injury? Now, if you've been told you can't jump because of your diagnosis, or maybe you're just too scared to try, stay with me. We're going to break this down and hopefully shift your mindset about what's possible. First, let's talk about where this fear comes from. If you've been diagnosed with osteopenia and osteoporosis, side note, I was diagnosed with osteopenia, you've likely been told that your bones are weaker and that the focus should be on avoiding fractures. The scared part of you probably only hears, avoid all impact or you'll break something. Now, here's the truth. Jumping doesn't automatically equal injury or fracture. In fact, research shows that impact activities like jumping or hopping can improve bone density. Why? Because bones respond to stress. When you apply safe, controlled stress, like landing from a small jump, it signals to your bones to adapt and to get stronger. So the real question isn't, can I jump? But how can I jump safely? And that's what I want to talk about today. And of course, more of that will be in my free webinar. So let's talk about what the research says. And I know some of you like to hear the science behind this, so we'll dive in. Studies have shown that low-impact progressive jumping exercises can help improve bone density and reduce the risk of fractures in women with osteopenia and even osteoporosis. For example, a 2015 study published in Osteoporosis International had participants do light jumping exercises 3 times a week. After 6 months, those participants showed significant improvements in bone density compared to those who didn't do impact activities. Now, here's the key. It's not about doing high intensity tuck jumps, high impact jumps right away. It's about starting small and progressing gradually and ensuring proper technique. All right, so let's talk about how you can safely incorporate jumping into your routine. Well, if you've never jumped before, or if it's been years, you've got to start small. It's just like even learning how to play the piano. You're not playing an orchestra, you're not playing a symphonic piece, you're doing scales. So, in terms of jumping, even a light bounce where your feet barely leave the ground can begin to build your confidence and bone loading capacity. For examples, mini bounces on both feet. Heel drops. That's when you rise onto your toes and let your heels gently drop to the floor to create a low impact jolt. Jumping also isn't just about the takeoff, it's about how you land. Practicing soft, controlled landings with bent knees to absorb the impact is very helpful. Think of it like this. You're training your muscles to cushion the bones. And once you're comfortable with the small jumps, you can progress to low vertical jumps where you're jumping 2 to 3 inches off the ground. And I don't mean doing 30 jumps. It could just be 5. Or even what they call a seated vertical jump is when you're sitting on a chair and you jump up as high as you can from the chair. And then to progress that from 2 feet jumping, so bilateral jumping, you can stagger your feet position and switch positions, switch the forward, back in terms of hops. And personally, I think jump rope stuff that you did as a kid is the most accessible way to practice jump training and coordination. And while it sounds easy, jump rope is not. I'm still working on my double hunters. Now, before adding in more dynamic jumps, I want to make sure that your foundation is solid. You need to work on strength training, strengthening your legs, your glutes, your hips, and core with exercises such as calf raises, glute bridge, squats, lunges, deadlifts. Essentially, you need to have strength training alongside your jump training. Now, if you have advanced osteoporosis or have had fractures before, it is crucial that you consult your doctor and a physical therapist before jumping. For me, I always go physical therapist first before I talk to I'm having brain fart, the orthopedic surgeon. Now, let's not forget that jumping has benefits also beyond just your bones. It improves your muscle strength, especially in the lower body, your balance and coordination, which also reduces your risk of falling, and most importantly, your confidence, because overcoming the fear of jumping can be incredibly empowering. And that confidence in your movement is what allows your skills to advance. Now, I know some of you might still have some concerns, so let's talk about some of the common ones. What if I fall? Now, this is why we start small and progress gradually. If balance is a concern, try holding on with hand onto the wall or hand on a steady surface when you begin. There's nothing wrong with having support as you practice these small jumps. What if I hurt myself? The risk is low if you stick to controlled low-impact jumps. That's Bentley barking. Hey, Bentley, stop barking. Sorry, I'm not editing this out, so if you guys heard him, that was him barking. So what if I hurt myself? The risk is low if you stick to controlled low-impact jumps. Strengthening the muscles around your joints also reduces your injury risk, which is why strength training is an important combo with your jump training. And finally, a common thought might be, isn't this too advanced for me? Remember, jumping isn't about how high or far, it's about building capacity. Even a small bounce with your feet never leaving the floor works as a beginning point. So here's the bottom line. Just because you have osteoporosis or osteopenia doesn't mean that you're fragile. You can absolutely add jumping to your workouts as long as you approach it with the right mindset, progress gradually, and listen to your body. Remember, our bodies were designed to adapt to challenges mentally and physically, and that's how we've survived as the human species for hundreds of years. And before I let you go, just a reminder, hop on the wait list for my free webinar, because I'll be going more into detail of the parts of your body that you use during plyometrics, the benefits of jumping specifically for women in peri and postmenopause, and more details and examples on how to start small, because that is necessary, and ways to work your jumping exercises into your strength routine, as in I'll give specific examples and also probably demo during the webinar. And I look forward to talking to you next week, where I'm going to be interviewing Hunter Krein from KBCU. Talk to you soon.
I'm Coach Tina. For more information about how to work with me, head to ironstrongfitness.com and send me a message. I'll see you next time.